Time of year for potholes, and chances are there is one out there with your name on it. Unfortunately, it's what we see this time of year. Our Monday morning mechanic, David Rogers, is here to show us the damage those potholes can do to your car. Hi, David.
Hi, Natalie. How are you?
Good. So you know you're doing the damage. I mean, you hit those potholes, it hurts.
No question.
It hurts you. You know it's really hurting the car.
No doubt. You can hear it and you can feel it. And a lot of today's components, these are sway bar links. You can tell they're really light. It's just a little tiny component, but that's bearing some abuse when you hit those potholes or when you
so this is a good one?
Hit a curb. And these are actually a little bit damaged. You can kind of tell they're just.
Yeah, I can't tell they're damaged.
You can't. You probably can't. They're a little bit bent.
So they're just bent. This one particularly.
Yeah, you can actually see the bend in it, so you can kind of tell it's not straight anymore.
What happens when that's bent?
What happens is that now you're it's connected to the sway bar. It's called a sway bar link. When you bend them, basically you're going to have a little bit of a problem with keeping your suspension straight and having the vehicle steer correctly.
Yep. Oh, we felt that when your car tries to go the other way.
Especially when you're doing a corner, which is where that sway bar comes into fit. And we have shocks, and we don't think about that much, but every time you hit a pothole, you're taking the shock and you're just pounding it. And I've got a bad one here, and you can kind of see how it just real easy. I mean, this should be holding up the weight of a car, and I'm really not that strong. That's shot, and probably a pothole. Again, here's a hub, and you can tell this is where your wheel hooks up. This part that hooks to the car, and basically what happens is you can break this. And when you hit a pothole, and then, what do we have?
Does it take much of a pothole to do something like that? You see big ones, but even when you just go over a little one, you can't avoid it, cause it accident.
Every one of them's doing a little bit of damage, and you're wearing. Anytime you get metal banging together, you've got a problem. And these parts, they wear. You get wallowing out where the bolt holes are and things like that, and they're not tight anymore. Basically, hundreds and if not $1,000, $1,200 worth of damage for something like that. So really important. And this strut looks a lot like a shock, just a lot more expensive to replace because they're spring loaded. They're very expensive. So the thing that we most want to think about is whenever you do hit a hard pothole or you slide into a curb. And with Angie telling us about all the weather that's coming, I think that people ought to think about that. You slide into a curb, you want to get in and get your wheels aligned.
So get in right away. That's what I wanted to ask you. You hit a pothole, you think, oh, I'm still driving, it seems to be okay. Should you take it in right away?
You really should, and especially if you feel like the steering wheel's not quite straight any longer, or you feel any kind of pulling or any kind of looseness. Sometimes when you're in your wheel on a car, sometimes it just feels a little bit loose, a little bit too much play. Immediately, any kind of feeling like that, you want to take it in.
Because it definitely could get worse if you don't get it in right away.
Well, absolutely, and we're going to take it and put a computer on it with a three-dimensional alignment tool that'll tell us exactly whether anything's bent or it's not sitting exactly straight. Tires today are so expensive. I just put tires on my truck. I mean, it was like $1,200.
Yeah.
So, it's not like it used to be. So let's get that kind of a problem figured out before it ends up costing us hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
The potholes aren't as bad this year as they were last year because they were horrible.
They were horrible. Natalie, too, by 9 o'clock this morning, if you go to MondayMorningMechanic.com, I'm going to have a list of all the different counties where you can call and report these potholes.
Terrific.
And that would be an important thing for consumers to do.
And we have a link there to our website as well.
Absolutely.
CW2.com. Thanks, David. Good to see you.